Boys, welcome back to Coach Mebs. Coach Mebs is a series where I take you guys through a live game of online Madden Ultimate Team and show you what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and why I'm doing it throughout the game. But before we get into gameplay, I have to show you guys how I have my team set up, who I have where, why I have them there, and what I have on them ability-wise. Last episode, we talked all about my offense. Now, let's talk about my defense. As I mentioned last episode when we talked about the offense, I do have that full Legends 40 out of 40 theme team. I think if you're going to want to put yourself at an advantage in Madden 23, you got to have a theme team, whether it's the Chiefs, the Eagles. I think the Legends is the best, but those are probably the top three, or just use your favorite team as a theme team. Put yourself at an advantage. You need everything you can do to win in this game because everybody's so competitive. I think when you're building a team, the number one priority should be the theme team to get what players fit that theme team and where to place them. But the second priority has to be at abilities. Let's go over mine. Starting on my defensive line, only 4 players overall play on my defensive line, and Bruce Smith isn't one of them. First up, we have the left end milkman. Never heard him be called that before. I guess he always delivers. J.J. Watt. I do have the ability double or nothing on him. It grants dominant pass rush wins at twice the cost. I think this, maybe if you like Edge Threat or Edge Threat Elite, you could put that on, but I think double or nothing is probably the best defensive line ability. And the reason I have his AKA card and not his career tribute card is for one reason and one reason only. For 1 AP, 1 out of my 3 X Factors on my defense is the Unstoppable Force Milkman X Factor. This allows him basically to shed better, and he starts the game with this X Factor already activated. And on the other side of the defensive line, I'm still rocking LT. I keep telling myself I'm going to get a new right outside linebacker or a new right end as soon as this card starts decreasing in productivity, but he keeps shedding and he keeps getting sacks. Again, I do have for 1 AP total that double or nothing on this Lawrence Taylor card, and he's a dog. I'm mostly playing dollar or 3-3 or maybe even 3-3-5 wide. I know it's called Cub. I'm not calling it that. It's still 3-3-5 wide. At defensive tackle, I think this is still the best defensive tackle in the game, Mean Joe Greene. I don't really run inside stuff. I don't really think it works in Madden 23. If this was a cost for AP and Enforcer, I probably wouldn't put it on Mean Joe, but 0 AP cost for Enforcer, you can't beat that. And if I'm just playing a runner, I will go into nickel over, so I'll have to have 2 defensive tackles, and that's why I still have for 0 AP under pressure. Not sure why I have it. I don't think it's that important anymore, but I do have this Warren Sapp. I think he's still maybe top 5 defensive tackles in the game, but again, I usually only use 3 defensive linemen, but Warren Sapp ain't bad. If you guys watched last episode where we talked all about the offense, you should remember my 3rd string running back is that AKA King Derrick Henry. I have him for short yardage and for goal line, basically situational football, and that's why I have this Ray Lewis. When my opponent is on my goal line or it's a 3rd and 1, 4th and inches, something like that, again, that short yardage down in distance, I have Ray Lewis in the game. The reason is because of his abilities. For 1 AP total, he has Enforcer and he has Tackle Supreme. He will not get faked out. He will not get trucked. Even if they have Quadfather or even Derrick Henry, he makes the tackle every single time. But when I'm not on a short yardage situation, when I'm on a regular down and distance, I have 2 users in the game. And the first is 6'7" Ted Hendricks. Now, I didn't want to spend any AP on my users because I don't think he really needs pick artist. He definitely doesn't need acrobat because he's 6'7". He can just, any ball, you can throw the ball 40 yards down the field and it'll hit him in the chest. But because it is 0 AP, I do have tip drill, and it actually worked out last time I was live. I was trying to catch it with, I was trying to lurk with Ted Hendricks, and it for some reason bounced off my hands. I think the receiver was too close to me. And as I'm following, the ability lit up, and I caught it. Tip drill method? And my second user, probably in my top 2 safeties of all time, Ed Reed. And putting an ability on Ed Reed, it was really dependent on either pick artist. I'm still not a huge fan talking users with pick artist. Very hesitant to use acrobat because it's not as good as it was in years past. But my first game with him, he had 3 interceptions, diving interceptions, mind you. I was sold. And you might have caught it when we talked about Ted Hendricks, but both my users, and this is the other 2 out of the 3 X factors on my defense, both my users have avalanche. Downhill hit sticks force fumbles. If I can get an extra possession forcing a random fumble with my users, I'm going to take that. Up next, let's go over the guys I have up top. In my opinion, this Rodney Harrison strong safety card is the absolute best strong safety in the game. When going over my users, I told you guys I didn't really think it was a necessity to have pick artists. When I'm talking about my DBs, my corners, my safeties, anyone else in the secondary, it is an absolute necessity to have pick artists. So on Rodney, I have pick artists, probably number 1 or 2 most important abilities for a defensive back. Maybe you could put this one over that, deep out KO. If he's in a deep quarter, or he's in a deep 4th or a deep 3rd, and you throw it near him, he's going to knock it out. And on the other side of the field, we have Julius Pepper's free safety card. I still think it's hilarious that they gave a 6'7" edge rusher a free safety card, but this has got to be one of my favorite defensive cards in the game. We have that pick artist, and again, we had that deep out KO, all for 1 AP total. Yeah, he's 99 zone, 6'7", 300 pounds with 95 speed. I don't think I'm going to replace him yet. And finally, my favorite part about my defense, my corners. 6'3", 200 pounds, 98 speed, 99 zone with 99 jumping. The best corner in the game, Mel Blount. Like I said earlier, the 2 most important abilities for defensive backs are pick artist and deep out KOs. But I think the actual most important part, especially for my defense, to have on a corner, especially my 2 outside corners, is flat zone KO. Whether I'm in 3-3 or 3-5 wide, cub, whatever, or dollar, I always come out in a cover 2. And yes, in future videos, I'll show you guys how to adjust according to what your opponent is running on offense. But if I had the chance and my opponent throws a wheel route or an out route or a flat route, something very short near my Mel Blount, he's going to knock it out. And you can't beat that. Up next, one of my favorite players in the league right now, because go Eagles, baby, James Bradberry. This card is disgusting. Bradberry with 96 speed, 99 zone, and 99 press makes him one of the best corners in the game. This is one of the only DBs I have without pick artists, and I'll kind of show you guys that why in the next episode when I kind of go over adjustments. But again, I do have flat zone KO and I do have deep out KO because he is on the other side of Mel Blount. I'm so excited for you guys to see this guy in my defense. Finally, my slot corner, Eagles legend, the Green Goblin, Jalen Mills. Again, he does not have pick artist because he's in my slot corner. He's usually in a flat zone, so I thought put flat zone KO on him. And at least once a drive, I match him on a running back or a tight end, and they try to throw a quick slant, a quick wheel, flat trail route, and he always knocks it out, and it's hilarious to watch your opponent get mad at that. But when I'm in dollar, and I'm on dollar, I'll show you guys in future videos, I'm on dollar in long down and distance, 3rd 10 plus, 4th and 15, whatever. My 2 corners who are usually rushing, but I play a lot of adjustment zones, like a cloud or whatever. In those 2 slot corners, the rushers in that DB Fire 2 play, I have Champ Bailey, 98 overall, and I still have that Charles Woodson, 97 overall. Both those cards have 0 AP pick artists, and I know I keep saying it, but in the next video, I can't wait to show you how these cards work. A theme team, abilities, players are nothing without a scheme. And our defense is in that alternate defense base 4-6 playbook. The reason I like this playbook more than any other playbooks, it has the largest variety out of any defensive playbook in Madden 23. It's got my dollar, it's got my 3-3, it's got my 3-3-5 wide, cub, whatever. Got nickel over. It's got everything I need. Base 4-6 defense, get it. I think everyone knows this, and if you don't, I'm going to put you at an advantage. The best defensive strat card is the Legends in the Zone. It's 4 defensive backs. It's 4 plus zone coverage, 3 plus play rec, and 2 plus press. It's kind of hard to say. And question of the day, if you could add 1 player to my defense or maybe 1 ability to my defense, what would you add? See you in the next video.